It was the first recall election in Colorado and a stunning victory for the National Rifle Association and gun rights activists. Two Democrats, Senate President John Morse and State Senator Angela Giron, were ousted yesterday as their recall fights came to a close. Zach, explain this to us. The Colorado legislature's gun control package was going to require background checks, a ban on ammunition magazines over 15 rounds. What happened?
Well, basically, a lot of lawmakers in Colorado voted in favor of that over the objections of the National Rifle Association, and figured, well, it's just one of many types of special interest groups. They're a particularly powerful one, but this is the legislation that they wanted to vote for, and the NRA decided to declare recall elections against them. Much like what we saw against Scott Walker in Wisconsin a couple of years ago, except unlike the Scott Walker recall, the NRA was facing a very low turnout election for state senators, and was able to really throw its weight around and basically single-handedly won the recall for the people challenging the lawmakers who voted in favor of, let's be clear, background checks and bans on high-capacity magazines. It's pretty stunning accomplishment for the NRA. I think a pretty bad sign in general for the way American politics work at the state level.
So what happens now?
Well, I mean, these guys are out of a job. They'll go find something else. It's entirely possible this could elevate their sort of national profile, and they could become, gun control activists or something. But I think in general, this is just something that the NRA can then. This is just sort of another notch on their belt, and they can go back to lawmakers like Kelly Ayotte, who is a senator from New Hampshire, whose public approval rating just nosedived after she voted against universal background checks for gun purchasing, and say, look, Kelly, we know you had a hard time here in the public approval ratings, but if you vote against us, if you cross us, we will do this to you. And I think that's how these types of organizations end up maintaining their influence and sway in Washington. It's not that they think that a lot of people agree with them or that their policies are particularly popular. It's that they have a lot of money and they have a very, very passionate base of people who do agree with them, who will come out in elections, particularly elections where there aren't a whole lot of people voting, and make things hard for people who cross them.